Hi, I'm Guillermo, senior video producer for Chowhound. Today I'm in Chelsea, New York City. I'm meeting my friend, chef and author Michelle Dahl at New York Cake, where sugary magic happens 24/7. It's Easter, so I asked Michelle to teach me how to make peeps. The cool thing about marshmallows is that they're a very fun type of edible craft. Shapes, colors will go as far as your creativity will take you. We're gonna make peeps. Cuteness overload ensues.
Marshmallows are probably my favorite candy. We're gonna make our own homemade peeps, so we know exactly what goes into them. They're super fresh and super squishy, or you can let them sit out for a couple days. I like them when they're kind of crusty and hard. And we can do them any color.
How do we achieve the color, the sugar, the sprinkles, all this, like the fun stuff?
Sure, well, here at New York Cake, I kind of have access to a whole rainbow of sanding sugars. Life is good. But if you are, say it's the middle of the night, you got a peep emergency and you need to make some colored sugar really quick, there is a way to do it at home. If you're gonna make your sugar from scratch. The first step is to color it. And that's because we have to let it dry out a little bit. If we color our sugar right away, sugar's hygroscopic. It's gonna suck all the moisture out of the food coloring. And it's gonna crystallize in too large of crystals, which is no good. You want a nice, fine sanding sugar, not crystal sugar, sanding sugar. So the first thing I'm gonna do is put the sugar into the food processor. A few drops of orange food coloring, that's about 4 or 5 drops.
Is there a preference of what type of food coloring you use when you're doing this?
I like to use a gel food coloring. You could use the Easter egg water food coloring, but then you're adding even more water to it. It's gonna get even
So that's
chunkier.
low zone process.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's not my favorite. Here we go. So
Beautiful.
just to circulate the color, get it nice and consistent, but you can see there's a few pieces in here that are a little bit oversaturated. So those are the ones that we want to make sure we dry out. Just spread it on a sheet pan. Give it a little shimmy. Pop it in the oven for about 10 minutes at 250 degrees and it's ready to use.
So we have sugar in the oven.
Now we are making marshmallows. So
It's like alchemy, I think, right? A little bit?
It really is. We're actually changing the molecular structure of the sugar. Right now it's in crystal form and we're gonna change it into this liquid, weird,
Amazing.
non-Newtonian kind of blob stuff. So the first thing we're gonna do is bloom our gelatin. The gelatin needs to absorb some of the water so that it will dissolve into our marshmallow. So it's 2.5 teaspoons over 1/3 of a cup of water.
You're kind of like spreading it as you...
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna fill all that in, so it's
Cool.
expanding inside the water there. Groovy. Science.
Science.
All right, so while that is blooming, we will start our sugar.
Cup.
Okay, so it's 1 cup of sugar. This is just regular granulated sugar. Put that into my pot first. I'm gonna wet my sugar. If I try to just heat this up, it heats up too quickly. It's gonna start to get brown. And
it burns fast, right?
It burns
Sugar.
really fast, yeah. So this is gonna slow it down for me. You can see it's wet, but it's not soaking wet. So I'll take my finger and just drag it around. I'm making sure that there's no pockets of unwet sugar, aka dry sugar. And I'm just gonna let her rip. It's an induction oven, so it heats up really, really fast.
Okay.
And we are taking this to 238 degrees, which is like softball sugar. So you
In a regular stovetop, if I was doing this at home,
take it up to high heat and just keep an eye on it. This is not the time to walk the dog or... As it gets to closer to 238, we're gonna lose all that foam and it's gonna be a slower kind of bubble. So you can use a candy thermometer. Find that if you look at these too hard, they break. So we'll use this to measure it, but then we're also gonna use this kind of old-fashioned way of testing the sugar, which is to take an ice bath to soak our fingers in for a couple seconds until they're kind of numb. And then you dip your hand right into the sugar, grab a piece and put it back in here. So I'm gonna have you put the gelatin in the mixer. Here's a little spatula for you. Beautiful. Let me test
gelatin
this
in.
one more time. So my hands are nice and ice cold. Grab some sugar, put it here. That, my friend, is softball. So I can make it into this like little gummy bear bob. Right?
Oh,
But
wow.
it's still continuing to cook in the pan. So very quickly, I'll turn this on. Careful not to hit the beaters or it will get sprayed around. So I'm gonna whip this at like medium.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna add some vanilla. This is a Indonesian.
Sounds very fancy.
It is, it's delicious. About a half a teaspoon. All right, so I wanna take a peek at this and make sure it's peeking.
Nice.
Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. I always like to kind of move it around a little bit just to make sure I'm not looking at the one part that's perfect.
So yeah, when I'm making this without you to guide me, I'm looking for those kind of peaks.
Exactly.
Okay.
So it's kind of a
A
soft
stringier, softer peak, not a.
Right. So this is going to continue to set up as we're working with it.
Okay.
If you start piping it and it's too soft, don't just pipe them all and hope for the best. Leave it in your bag for a couple minutes and then you can
Let it
come
dry a
back
little
to
bit
it.
and. Okay.
Exactly. That gelatin is setting up.
Okay.
All right, so these are disposable pastry bags. This is a cuff over your hand. And since your hand is right there, you can kind of scoop it and then drag it along your little finger pit. So pretty.
Whoa.
Right? There we go. Do some goth black peeps.
Yes.
Green?
Yes. Beautiful.
All right, so we want to do a nice thick layer of sugar on the bottom.
So these are pre-made, but this is basically the effect that you would have with the one that we put in the oven.
Yeah, exactly.
Same
and we'll
thing.
use that orange one. We're going to make some carrots later with a mold.
What kind of molds can you use when you're working with marshmallow?
So silicone molds work really well. You spray it with a little bit of non-stick spray. Also cookie cutters. If you have a nice thick cookie cutter, you can spray
That's
that.
the work.
Fill it up. Yeah, it works really well.
And you can
I'll
do
show you.
anything.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So I want you to close the bag and then push it down.
Push it down.
We'll start piping it kind of like an eclair shape. About 3 inches. Once you get there, go back to the
Sort of
middle.
fall as you're doing this.
Let it build up. Stop squeezing. And then pull it off to the front. You want to do it right next to the first one. I'm going to start, my tip is about 1/2 of an inch away from the sugar. Start piping, piping. There's your happy little peeps.
Let's do a little yellow.
Classic peeps. All right, so I'm going to do one and then I'll have you do the rest.
Do it. Better.
Yes.
Right? We're getting
Fantastic.
It's so pretty.
Aren't they great?
Peeps are just the beginning.
Yeah.
We can do flowers, we can do bunnies.
Yes. You can use these silicone molds. We'll make some carrots. We'll do some bunny heads. Oh, they're so cute. I can't stand it. So they'll be even cuter when we put some eyes and little mouths on them. Another thing you can do, so this is a regular bunny cookie cutter. I'm just going to spray it. Place it in your sugar.
Like any cookie cutter you have, any shape that you have, make them year-round.
Totally.
Any
totally.
holiday, or you don't even need a holiday as an excuse. Like make your marshmallows any time of the year.
Yeah. So now we want to sift our orange sugar.
Yeah. Bunny.
You want to try one?
Yeah, let's taste our peas. Okay. I'm gonna peel one of these purple ones. Okay. Moment of truth. I made marshmallow. Oh, yeah. It's kind of early to eat all this sugar,
Right? Is it? Or is it too late?
but maybe it is too late. Too late, I ate it all.